All right, a few general rules for choosing markers with ink. A few general rules for prokaryotic transcription. You're going to have something that makes it the promoter region get bound to and go. So transcription. Here's the promoter region, and the polymerase needs to come there. There's going to be things that do that. Here is a regulator region where you can have a repressor bind. All right? As a general rule, I'm not talking about any particular operon right now, but as a general rule, you can have things that make DNA polymerase more or less likely to bind. Okay? And so that's one area. You can turn on the go button, which is polymerase getting on there, or you can turn off the go button, which is making so polymerase doesn't get there. Okay? That's one area. If it was just that, it would make total logical sense. So nail that down. Okay, next. What about this? Sometimes there's a thing here that stops the polymerase, even if the polymerase got bound, and sometimes there's not. That thing is called a repressor. The repressor can have two things, on or off, just like this. There's on and there's off. Okay? So it can have a molecule that makes the repressor bind, or it can have a molecule that makes the repressor not bind. Okay? And it just depends on the operon. If it was tryptophan, then when you have a whole bunch of tryptophan, because you've run this a bunch to break down things to make it into the amino acid tryptophan, you're like, yes, I have enough tryptophan. Some of the tryptophan comes back and binds to the repressor, and it actually makes it come up and bind, because we don't need to make any more of that enzyme. We got enough tryptophan. Stop. And so it's just a way that you can tell the repressor, do you want to go on or off? And there's a bunch of molecules that can bind to each. So there's just a stop button and a go button for both the polymerase area and the repressor area. And that's pretty much it. There are a few little side bits about what makes the stop little molecule appear. Some enzymes will make things into tryptophan or make things into allolactose. And so there's some enzymes to form the little dots that'll fit onto the repressor enzyme. But really it's just stop and go, stop and go. And if you have two goes, you're happy. It runs. If you have one stop, it doesn't matter if the other ones go.
Okay.
Oh, except go meaning on the repressor would be get off.
Right, I'm talking about go as in.
So
Okay.
you have the, just making sure I understand, you have the polymerase. If it binds, that's a go.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's not a repressor attached, it's a second go, and it's going to go into its thing.
Yep.
If the polymerase attaches and the repressor is attached, then the second go makes it not be able to continue.
The second, yeah, it stopped at the second place because there's something in the way physically. The repressor is literally a big fat thing that it can't get by very much. Very tiny amounts can get by, but almost never.
So then you also have those proteins,
Yeah. Molecules.
those molecules that will bind the repressor to inactivate the repressor.
It can make the repressor more likely to go this way or that way. It just depends on the molecule.
Okay, so it can activate or deactivate the repressor and thereby also influence whether or not the polymerase can go forward.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the bottom line is there a polymerase here? Yes, great. Can it get by here? Yes, great.
Okay.
And then that's the end.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And there is
Perfect.
two different spots. The promoter and the is that right?
Yeah, this is like the promoter, this is the binding site for the polymerase, which I believe is the promoter region. And then this is the regulator site, I believe is what it's called, where the repressor can bind or not.
The regulator.
Oh, that is, yeah. I remember that in the photo.
Okay.
So it's the promoter and the regulator.
Yeah. Yep. And it's just literally you can have things that make each bit stop or go more.
Okay.
Yep. Hopefully that helps. And I'm sure that there are other videos on YouTube that use more visible marker and can go over this pretty fast. So hopefully this helps. And if not, then go and search rather than, unless you learn really fast by textbooks, in which case, kudos to you.